What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another tutorial. This is Sudoxe with a map and cartography tutorial today. And this also happens to be going live on Christmas Eve, so this is going to be our Christmas special. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everything in between to all of you. And this episode is also a little bit special because it was actually suggested by one of our viewers. In the comment section of one of my videos, he went ahead and told me he had a good idea. So after DMing him a little bit, he went ahead and he gave me this great idea to go and show you guys how to use maps, the cartography table, in a fun and Christmassy kind of way. So thank you again to Freedom Live for this idea. So let's go ahead and let's go inside our wonderful little cottage here. We have a cartography table, but if I come over here, I'm actually going to show you guys a couple different crafting recipes. So first of all, to craft a blank map, you're going to need 9 pieces of paper. Now this is actually a unique crafting recipe to Bedrock Edition. If you actually were going to craft an empty map on Java, you will actually need to do this, which has a compass. But on Bedrock, this actually has a separate use, and it makes something called a Locator Map, which is different from an empty map. And also to go ahead and craft a cartography table, you'll need 4 oak planks and 2 pieces of paper, just like this. So I guess one of the first things I should probably go ahead and explain is what is the difference between a regular blank map and a locator map? Well, a blank map, if we go ahead and right click, it'll show us a map of the surrounding area, and if we actually go ahead and do the locator map, it'll do the same thing, but it'll actually have our current icon in a cursor showing us the direction we're pointing. If you were on Java, you would basically have just the locator map. It would be called just a regular map. Now if you actually go ahead and you hover over the maps, you can see it says level 0 out of 4. That is actually going to be the zoom. 0 is the most zoomed in you can be, and 4 is going to be the most zoomed out you can be. So to go ahead and actually change the zoom on the map, go ahead and get a cartography table, go ahead and actually place this in the top slot, get some paper. It'll tell us it's actually going to zoom it out and clear it, and it'll tell us it's now actually going to be on 1 of 4. So as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit zoomed out. We're losing a little bit of detail. Let's go ahead and let's do it again. This is 2 of 4. Even more detail is actually lost. This is 3 of 4. Almost all the details are actually lost already. And this is going to be 4 of 4, and as you can tell, you can barely tell that anything was there at all. And the actual different levels on the map go ahead and actually do correspond to different chunk areas. So the level 0 is going to be an 8x8 chunk area. The level 1 is going to go ahead and be a 16x16 chunk area. The level 2 is a 32x32 chunk area. The level 3 is going to be a 64x64 chunk area. And the level 4 will be a 128x128 chunk area. Now you may also know that you can go and place maps in item frames, and they actually do extend past the edge of the item frame, and you can actually go ahead and layer these together to make a coherent map. And it is actually important to note that maps do go ahead, and when they do generate, they actually snap to the chunk boundary. So I'm just going to really quickly go ahead and get a couple of maps. So there we actually have all the little pixel art I went ahead and made. I was planning on making a lot more, but it was actually pretty time consuming doing all this by hand, so this is the best I could do for right now. And if you can tell, actually our icon's on there as well. Unfortunately, that's going to be an issue of using a locator map. So let me go ahead and let me fix that. This will just be the normal map. And actually, if you can tell right down there, that is a fishing hook, which actually is Freedom Live's icon. So since this is actually suggested by him, that's an extra little shout out to him right there. And also because of these snowmen, this did say Merry Christmas. It's a little bit unreadable. I didn't actually consider the white on white would be an issue, but it is. So that was silly to go ahead and do. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop back into the cartography table. So another feature you guys might not know is that you can actually go ahead and duplicate maps. So if I place my map choice in here and I go ahead and place my empty map, it'll go ahead and actually give me 2 of the same map. Oh, also maps do orient themselves northward, so as you can tell, I built this upside down. I built everything facing south, so that was my mistake. But just be aware that they do go ahead and they do orient themselves north upward. You can of course rotate it on an item frame, which makes it easy, but still be aware. You can also actually do something called locking your map, and if you go and you place a glass plate in here, what you'll do is you'll get your map, and it'll say that it is locked, and essentially what this means is that even if I go ahead and I actually damage the real world terrain, it'll go ahead and permanently keep that as a picture. To go and actually show you guys a quick example of this, I'm going to go and actually sabotage my own little pixel art here. Everybody say goodbye to the Christmas tree. Or at least try to say goodbye to it. I might have to go and do this a little bit more than I thought. Alright, so if we actually go and pull up our map, we can clearly see that we have plenty of holes right now in our Christmas tree. But if we actually go back to our locked one, it's actually fully intact. So a good use of this is that if you want to go and actually make pictures on your wall, you could go and you can actually make a quick pixel art and lock it and then later destroy it if you actually don't want it in your world. So that's just a good way to go and get pictures. Or you could even use it for a before and after, maybe for like a major project or major terraforming. You can also name maps inside your cartography table as well. So let's go ahead and call this before explosion. I'm just going to leave that big E in there for no reason. And just a quick note, in Java you can actually go and actually rename banners and place them down in your world, and you can actually right click them with your map of choice. Here I have a locator as well as a regular map. And even though I'm right clicking them, unfortunately it does not go ahead and does not display the banner as a marker on the map. I am hoping that that'll eventually become a feature on Bedrock, but at the moment it is not, unfortunately. Alright guys, that about wraps it up. Maps are pretty straightforward. They may display a little bit differently, different dimensions, but for the most part, they're pretty intuitive. So if you guys actually enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like. If you guys want to see more things like this, please consider subscribing. But until I see you guys next time, take care and bye-bye. Oh, also, do you guys like my new skin? It's a pufferfish. I actually made it myself. Also, follow me on social media, please. Links in the description. And if you're feeling extra generous, consider supporting me on Patreon.